Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Cartoon Hotspot, and in today's video, I'll be analysing the episode Dearest Family, which is episode 21 of season 4. I have to admit to you guys that I wasn't planning on making an analysis video on this episode, simply because I did find the episode overhyped and underwhelming, despite the fact the trailers made it seem like it was such a huge episode. But I guess that's the point of trailers. Anyways, after rewatching the episode in the English dub this time, I have a major theory regarding Gabriel's wish. Well, more so an explanation to how he goes about reviving Emily Agreste, who as we know is in a coma. So if you want to hear my thoughts, then don't go anywhere without giving this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe and turn on that bell button for post notifications. Without further ado, let's begin. The episode begins with Gabriel in his lair holding a magical charm, and he attempts to reacclimatize himself into the Collector once again, which is a major clue as to what happens in the episode Gabriel Agreste, episode 9. Let's rewind for a bit. I strongly believe after someone discovers Shadowmoth's identity, he reacclimatizes himself into the Collector, and then receives a magical charm from Ladybug. But like I said, that's episode 9, and this episode we're analysing is episode 21. Why does Gabriel wait 12 episodes to finally figure out how to break them? Did he just forget, or was he biding his time waiting for the right moment? Honestly, I have no clue why he waited this long, but if you have any theories, please feel free to comment them down below. Anyways, Gabriel struggles in reacclimatizing himself and ends up crying like a little baby, but of course his secret weapon, Natalie, encourages him to not give up and tells him that just like Ladybug discovering her potential, so can Gabriel, because the only limits the Miraculous jewels have are the ones their holder imposes on themselves. Gabriel concentrates super hard and ends up forming a Mega Kuma. Yes, a Mega Kuma, a more powerful Akuma than he's ever created before. This Akuma is capable of breaking the protective barrier the magical charms grant, and thus he succeeds in becoming the Collector again. Now this is huge. Ladybug was at an advantage because she possessed a secret weapon to help her, Alia. Gabriel also has Natalie and the deciphered grimoire, so now they're pretty much leveled. What does this mean? The magical charms no longer work, and so I think Ladybug will have to make stronger and more powerful ones. She holds the power of creation. She can pretty much create anything she puts her mind to. Then we see Marinette's family in the bakery, and it's a special day in France known as Galette Day, I believe, and Tiki is woken up when she smells nice pastries. She begs a sleepy Marinette, who reluctantly gets up and grabs some galettes for Tiki to try. By the time Marinette returns to her room to let the other Kwamis have a taste, Tiki has already finished it all. The Kwamis, despite Marinette's excuse that she dropped the galette, know that Tiki was responsible, and they panic, afraid that Tiki would once again go on a sugar rush like she did centuries ago. Apparently when Tiki discovered chocolate, she went absolutely crazy and used her powers of creation to create chocolate rain. Tiki gets angry at the other Kwamis, and Marinette reassures them that nothing bad will happen, but Sass is quick to respond that maybe Marinette doesn't know Tiki as well as she thinks she does, which upsets them both. Anyways, Marinette returns to the bakery while Sass orders Waze and Bark to check on Tiki, just in case her cravings make her go berserk. Downstairs, Gina arrives and gives Marinette a motorbike, thinking it's her birthday, and Tom corrects her that it's not Marinette's birthday as it was only a few months ago. The family begin to argue about what's best for Marinette, and whilst they're all distracted, Tiki sneaks off and tries to taste the galette, but Waze and Bark warn Marinette in time. In order to stop Tiki, Marinette decides to transform. However, Tiki ends up controlling Marinette, even when she's inhibited in the earrings, which is so cool. Like, it's actually been confirmed that the Kwamis can control their holders when transformed, if and only if their will is strong enough. So basically, we see Marinette go crazy looking for food as her tummy rumbles. Can I just say, mind-controlled Ladybug is terrifying and very creepy.
That was close. Oh, what's going on? I'm starving.
During all of this, Marinette's family gets reacclimatized. Cat Noir turns up to the fight and Ladybug takes off to do transform. However, when she does, Tiki flies off eating everybody in Paris's galettes. She summons her powers of creation, and whilst doing that, we see a glimpse of her alternative form. Thomas did in fact confirm on Twitter a while back that Kwamis have multiple forms, so it's great we got a tiny bit of Kwami lore in this episode. Tiki uses her lucky charm and creates a giant galette that goes beyond the Earth's atmosphere and into space. Adrien questions what's going on, and Plag explains to him that Tiki has once again gone crazy, but it shouldn't be a cause for concern since luckily Plag is the Kwami of destruction. Which makes me go into a Kwame Law brain rot. We know Tiki was the first ever Kwame, having been formed at the time the universe was created. Of course, creation cannot exist without destruction. What if Plag was formed to sort of oppose and complement Tiki's powers, making them equally powerful, in the case that one of them goes completely out of hand? So if Plag was to ever make a mess of things, Tiki's powers cancel that out, and we see this with Ladybug and Cat Noir. Cat Noir's cataclysm destroy things, but Ladybug's magical ladybugs repair everything. The same applies for the converse. Anywho, Cat Noir powers up into Astro Cat and destroys Tiki's giant galette. Tiki and Marinette then have a heart-to-heart talk, to which Marinette admits that Sass was right in saying she doesn't really know much about Tiki as she claims to have. She questions why Tiki never told her, and Tiki's response is that she was afraid Marinette would think less of her. But just as Tiki always helps Marinette overcome her problems, Marinette promises to do the same and encourages Tiki to resist the cravings. She retransforms and meets up with Cat Noir. The feline superhero himself questions why the Dupanchengs have been akumatized again, and Ladybug states maybe Shadowmoth found a way to overcome the protective magical charms. They end up defeating the villains in a cute Lady Noir moment where Cat Noir says,
"Since I'm the king, would you be my queen, Ladybug?"
With pleasure, kitty cat. Tradition is tradition. Found it.
And the day is pretty much saved. Marinette's family apologized for their behavior in trying to control her life, when really all they should have done is ask what she wants. Tiki also apologizes to Marinette and says in order to prevent this from happening next Galette Day, Tiki might as well get used to the taste of galettes to reduce her sudden cravings. Then we cut to Gabriel's basement to where Emily is being held in a glass repository, and Gabriel promises to one day succeed in obtaining Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous. You know, the same old nonsense he's been promising for the past 6 years. But what's interesting is what he reveals in how he plans on reviving Emily. We know that he wants to use the Ladybug and Black Cat Miraculous to awaken her, but he never explained how until now.
I will get there, Miraculous. Thanks to the all-powerful forces of destruction and creation, I'll destroy this world that took you from us to build a new one, where we'll never be apart again.
Gabriel wants to create a new world where he and Emily are together and destroy the current world they're living in. In other words, he wants to reshape reality and create an alternate one. This is huge, because it has massive implications, and of course there'd be a great price to pay. For every action there is a reaction. What would be the consequence of creating an entirely new reality? I'm going to explain this using an example from one of my favorite shows, She-Ra, a great show which I highly recommend watching. In season 3 of She-Ra, it's revealed the antagonist's goal is to open a portal, since their planet, Etheria, has been cut off from all portal capabilities. However, because their planet is unstable, it might not work, or it might work but with dire consequences. Catra, the secondary antagonist, succeeds in opening a portal, using She-Ra's sword, which is the key. However, this inadvertently creates an alternate reality. The characters all end up living an alternative life that they weren't supposed to live. For example, in the actual world, a character named Glimmer lost her father to a war when she was really young. However, in this new reality, her father was very much alive. Here's the catch. Despite the characters seemingly living a happy life in their alternate reality, they still ended up having deja vu in a sense, where they felt like they were forgetting something from their actual life. So it's like they knew this alternate life they were living didn't feel right, but they didn't know why. Time and space weren't working accordingly, and so reality was literally collapsing in on itself. I've tried explaining this the best I could, but hopefully this makes sense. So if Gabriel makes a wish and resets time, a part of his life will be missing. I always thought that if Gabriel revives Emily, he'd end up losing Adrien, who'd take her place in the coffin. But what if by creating a new world, one where Gabriel isn't Hawkmoth, one where he and Emily are together, the consequence would be that Adrien wouldn't exist in this new world. And Gabriel would feel like part of him is missing but wouldn't exactly know what is. But that he'd always have that lingering feeling of what's missing from my life. There's something I can't quite remember and nothing's adding up. And of course, everything would have a spillover effect. If Adrien doesn't exist, I think Marinette would also feel like part of her life is missing. She also wouldn't be Ladybug, and Master Fu wouldn't have anyone to distribute the Miraculous to. And Marinette would still be bullied by Chloe, and so on and so on. Honestly, this is a far-fetched theory, but it kinda does make sense. He wants to undo his wrongdoings as Hawkmoth and create a new reality, But what Gabriel doesn't understand is that it doesn't quite work like that. The reason I say this theory makes sense is because there's been multiple times Gabriel has expressed he wished he didn't have to resort to being Hawkmoth and put Adrien in danger. His love for Emily overpowers his love for Adrien, and so he continues to terrorize Paris and neglect his son. His goal is blinding him to the point he probably doesn't even know the full implications if he succeeds. He's digging his own grave, and apart from losing Emily, he will also end up losing Adrien in the process. So that was my analysis on Dearest Family. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Season 4 is quickly coming to an end with under 10 episodes left of this season. The final episodes, episodes 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26, make or break this season. So let's hope it's huge and leaves us on the edge of our seats. But now I want to put it to you guys. What do you think of Gabriel's wish? How do you think it will play out if he is successful in creating a new world? What are your predictions and theories for the rest of season 4? Let me know down in the comments. As for today, that's it from me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!